Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Lily's Little Life Corner. I'm your host, Lily, and today we are going to be talking about something that has been on my mind recently, and that is influencer marketing. So I came up with the idea to talk about influencer marketing and kind of the truth behind influencer marketing because I came across this video, and I'm going to show it to you now. But don't worry if you're listening, this person does a really good job at explaining what's going on, and you can kind of hear what's going on as well. So let's watch it together.
Please tell me you guys have seen the video of the girl calling her mother and screaming at her to send her money to buy the new Rhode lip peptide treatment. It's actually insane. If you didn't see it before she deleted it, don't worry. Of course I saved it. So here it is.
Okay, it's 10:59. Drops at 11. Trying to get, oh my god, bad time. Why isn't it there yet? Hello? Two. I want two. Check out. Checking out. Hello? Oh my god. What's going on here? Oh my god, what if I don't have enough money in my bank account? I'm scared. Okay. I don't know if I have enough money in my bank account. I really don't know if I have enough money in my bank account. I'm getting two though because they're limited edition. And so if I run out, I'm gonna be using this every second of every day. Oh my god. I don't have enough money. Can you add $20 to my bank account right now, please? I'll call you in a second.
For what?
ASAP. I'm trying to get something. ASAP, please.
Okay, well, I'm pulling it up. What are you trying to
Okay,
do? How much do you need?
like $20.
What are you trying to buy?
I'll tell you in a second.
Oh, I can only go so fast, Lauren.
Okay.
The computer.
Oh my god, wait, I need like 30 actually.
Well, I'm putting $100 in your account.
Okay, I'll call you.
Hold on, you don't have that much. Hold on. I'm trying to do this.
Okay.
I have it pulled up. Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Shit. I mean, I can only go so fast. Transfer from. This is you. Transfer to. What are you trying to buy?
I'll tell you in a second.
Right, because it's some shit you're not supposed to be buying. You literally have like $300 to your name right now. Oh, shit. I just did the wrong.
Oh my god.
What are you buying?
Nothing.
Right.
Okay, well if I didn't have to pay for my own gas now, my own groceries.
Lauren, I've been giving you $125 a month.
That pays for gas twice. That's nothing.
I know, right? I mean, it's tough being a poor college student.
Okay, are you doing it?
I put $100 in your money in your account.
Thank you.
You have $228 in your savings account right now, and you have right now you have $125 in your checking account with God knows what it is you're gonna buy.
I got it.
First of all, who talks to their mother that way? I almost feel a little bad for her because consumerism is a literal mental illness. And the craziest part is she definitely thought people were going to comment and be like, yes, girl, appropriate reaction here, yes. But no, she deleted it because everybody was like, you're crazy. This is crazy. This is not normal. Sometimes it's okay to just delete the shopping cart. Find a hobby. I'm laughing, but it's really not funny. This is a mental illness.
Okay, so that was the first video that I came across, and immediately, I mean, you guys can see her reaction in the caption. So she puts text on the screen, and she says, enjoy me trying to get the Rhode sugar cookie lip filmed on my Mac. The entire video, she's stressing out because she wants this new lip peptide treatment. And I just tried to put myself in her mom's shoes. And I was thinking, imagine you get a call like that from your kid. I would think they're in danger. I would think they're about to go to jail or something, right? Because they didn't pay a parking ticket and they're trying to ask me for money so that they can pay for their parking ticket. Or I would think have you been kidnapped? What's going on? Why are you talking to me like that? First of all, I'll tell you in a second. Oh my god, shut up. Excuse me? I am your mother, first of all. Second of all, what situation have you gotten yourself in to where you feel the need to talk to me like that? And then come to find out, it's just her trying to buy lip gloss essentially is what it is, and she's trying to buy it because it tastes like sugar cookie and it's limited edition. She said, I'm buying 2 because it's limited edition, and if I love it, I'm going to be using it every single day. Well, as we saw from my overconsumption podcast episode, you will not be using it every single day because something else is going to drop, and you are going to be replacing that, using this every single day lip treatment with something else that also came out. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that you are going to be using every single day. But just look at her reaction and then tell me what you think. Like, pause the video. Pause the podcast right now. If you're on Spotify or on YouTube, comment down below and tell me what you think her reaction is gonna be like when she gets these lip peptide treatments. What do you think her reaction is gonna be like? I'll give you some time. Well, now that you've commented down below, let's take a look at what her actual reaction was. So this is a video from Lindsay Cooper, who uploaded the first TikTok, and she replies to a comment that says, and then she filmed her unboxing it and she was wildly unenthusiastic about it, laughing emoji, or crying emoji, sorry. And so Lindsay Cooper replies,
You guys, you're telling me after all that commotion and ruckus, she didn't even like the Rhode Lip Peptide lip glosses. She said they taste like coffee. I cannot believe I missed the unboxing and reaction video. Here it is, if you haven't seen it.
Just open the package, see what was in it. And by the way, I did not delete my video. It got deleted, somehow reported or something. So just so you know, I did not delete it. Okay, so here it is. Here's what the package looks like. I'm at home right now, I just had spring break. This is what it looks like. Comes with this wrapping paper. Okay, here they are. Let's open one up. Oh, good job. Okay, open it up. Ooh. Okay, let's smell it. So it kind of smells like a mixture of coffee and the pink sugar from Summer Fridays. Not awesome. Okay. Turn it on now. Gonna lather it up. Okay. So it kind of tastes like coffee, and I do not like coffee. So.
Like, you've got to be kidding me, right? I have secondhand embarrassment. You screamed at your mother and crashed out on the internet just to not even like the products. Like, you can't make this up, and unfortunately, it's not satire.
nope, it is not satire. So anyway, those are the TikToks that I came across on my For You page, and they're the ones that inspired me to make an episode about this. And then to, you know, add fuel to my inspiration fire, Kiki Chanel uploaded now 2 videos that are kind of along the same lines. So let's get into how influencer marketing works to make you like this poor young girl who's crashing out over not being able to buy 2 lip glosses. I do have to preface this by saying that I am not someone who gets PR packages. I am not someone who gets sponsorships, but I have been on the makeup side of the internet for a really long time, over a decade now. I started watching beauty gurus when I was 11 or 12, and along the years, throughout the years, those beauty gurus have then made videos on how they get PR packages, what they have to do to get PR packages, what they have to do to get sponsorships, and as such, I've been able to inform myself, and now I'm able to tell you guys how PR and sponsorships work. However, because I don't receive PR packages or sponsorships, you still have to take this with a grain of salt, okay? But let's take it from the beginning. So when you become an influencer, your hope is probably to make money, get sponsorships, and maybe even get PR packages. Maybe you're seeing all of your favorite influencers getting PR packages, so you start uploading content on social media to try and get PR packages. What brands are looking for in an influencer is not just the number of followers that you have, but also a consistent upload schedule with a consistent quality. Basically saying you cannot just upload a shitty video every once in a while and then a high quality video every once in a while. Your quality and your upload schedule have to be consistent, and your comments and your engagement also has to be consistent. So if you have one viral video, you're not going to get a ton of PR packages. You have to have several of your videos performing not at the viral rate, but at the similar rate, right? So if you get 100K views for one TikTok, you're expected to get around 100K views for your next TikTok. Same thing with your YouTube video. If you get 50K views every YouTube video, then you're going to be sent PR packages. But if that one time you get 50K and then the next time you get maybe 10K, you're not going to get PR packages, right? It has to be consistent. Okay, so you have all the consistency, right? So now you're getting PR packages. First, you have to set up a PO box, or you have to set up an email where companies can ask you what your address or PO box address is, and then once you give that to them, then they're able to send you packages in the mail. Now, PR packages, if you guys don't know, they are packages that companies send in the hopes of an influencer talking about the product. You're not expected to talk about the product, but companies are hoping that you talk about the product so that then you can drive more sales to their business. So the more followers you have, the bigger the companies that will send you packages. If you just have a few followers, chances are it'll be smaller, more indie brands that are going to send you packages. And then once you get more followers, companies like e.l.f., NYX, ColourPop, Urban Decay, those are the companies that are going to start sending you packages in the hopes of you reviewing something. So that is the difference between PR packages versus sponsorships. Sponsorships is a contractual agreement where you sign that you are going to absolutely film a certain amount of videos talking about a certain product with certain words and phrases, and the company is agreeing to pay you a certain money for however many sales you drum up out of your sponsored video. So that is the gist of it, okay? PR packages, you're not expected to do anything, but the companies would like for you to do something. The whole reason why you're getting free packages is because the company is hoping that you make videos out of the free stuff that they send you. Sponsorship, you have a contractual agreement, so you are obligated to make content off of whatever things they send you, and they will pay you for that content in return. Back when PR and sponsorships and codes first started out, influencers weren't really expected to do much. They really only received PR packages, and then they would talk about the PR packages if they wanted to. And then codes, so think James Charles, use code James for 10% off of all Morphe purchases, use code Jacqueline for 10% off of Morphe purchases, that kind of code. And as well as sponsorships, they were more contractual agreements where if you promote your code, you're going to get paid based off of how many people used your code and what amount of product they bought using your code. But aside from making content for the brand, that was pretty much all that influencers were expected to do. They weren't expected to go all out and beg companies, because companies would just simply reach out to the influencers. That's the whole magic of having an undersaturated kind of community. Now that everybody and their mother is doing makeup content, brands kind of had to pick and choose which creators they're going to send packages to and which creators they're going to do sponsorships with, and it has to be worth their money and their time. If you, like I said, have only a few followers and you're only getting a few of your followers buy things from certain brands, then brands likely won't reach out to you. They'll only reach out to you if you have above a certain number of followers and if your content stays consistent all the time. But okay, now you know kind of the gist of how influencers get PR packages or sponsorships. Now let's talk about how you get famous enough to get to the point where you're getting PR and packages. We're going to take people like Jaclyn Hill and Michaela Nogueira. Jaclyn Hill was one of the first ever beauty gurus to ever show up on YouTube, and Michaela Nogueira is one of the first beauty gurus to ever show up on TikTok. And they have similar how do I put this, morals when it comes to doing sponsorships and sponsored videos. So we're going to take those two as an example. Both Jaclyn and Michaela Nogueira started off being very relatable. People liked them because they could relate to a certain part of their personality. So for example, Jaclyn had her love of makeup. She was a makeup artist, she worked at MAC, she really enjoyed doing makeup on other people and herself, but she also had a far more relatable side, which was that she was living on food stamps and she was struggling financially, and almost in every video she would mention it and she would say, I'm so glad that you guys relate to me. I'm so glad that we are able to build this community. Without you guys, I would still be living off of food stamps, etc, etc, etc. Michaela also has a love of makeup. She is always talking about makeup, she's always promoting new makeup products. But the other more relatable side of her is that she was struggling with her skin. She had a ton of acne, and she actually blew up because she was showing people how to conceal your acne in a very believable way. So that was one of the first videos of hers that blew up. She was showing her process of how to cover up acne. She also worked at a makeup counter. It also did help that both of them were kind of the first of their kind. When Jaclyn started, YouTube had already kind of popped off, but it wasn't until certain people, such as Jaclyn Hill, started making content surrounding makeup that the makeup community really got its start on YouTube. Michaela was also unique in her field of TikTok makeup artist. By the time that Michaela uploaded her first viral TikTok video, the same beauty gurus that we had seen on YouTube were trying to start to transition to TikTok, but it wasn't really working out for them because YouTube and TikTok are two completely different platforms. So they were really struggling to find their groove, to find a community, not to mention James Charles and Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson really made it hard for people to trust makeup influencers. Dramageddon 3 had happened and people were kind of sick and tired of beauty gurus on YouTube, so they moved over to TikTok creators. People like Charli D'Amelio, Dixie D'Amelio, I think is her name, the D'Amelio sisters, people like that. From the Hype House, people like that. You get it. It wasn't until Michaela Nogueira started uploading TikTok videos that people started finding an interest in makeup guru TikTok. So she was the first to kind of build that community on TikTok. Already, the community had already existed on YouTube, but she was the first to really get it going on TikTok. And then James Charles completely changed his content and he was no longer canceled for very illegal reasons. But he was able to move over to TikTok, and suddenly everybody forgot that he admitted to messaging minors, but that's none of my business, I guess. But anyway, the point is that you have to have some form of relatability to your viewers, because if you have some form of relatability and you make it big, your viewers are far more likely to follow everything that you're doing and saying. This is because before you started, you were kind of a normal, maybe even not well off person. So for example, take Jaclyn Hill, she was living on food stamps. Michaela Nogueira, she was seen as not conventionally attractive because she was overweight and she had acne, but both of these women were able to build something of an empire. So with Jaclyn fans, any Jaclyn fans that were also living on food stamps looked up to Jaclyn as an example of what they could achieve, and people who struggled with acne or were overweight, like Michaela Nogueira, looked up to Michaela Nogueira as an example of what they could achieve with the right amount of money. Does that make sense? So take, for example, if maybe you are suffering with diabetes and an influencer that you follow also has diabetes, you'll be able to relate more to that influencer. And then if that influencer starts promoting health products or health adjacent things, you're more likely to buy those things because, hey, you and that influencer have the same kind of diabetes and you're struggling in the same way. Right? So then if they promote supplements or vitamins or Bloom, God forbid, you're more likely to buy vitamin supplements in Bloom. Same thing with now how Michaela Nogueira has a skincare line. If you suffered with acne and you watched Michaela Nogueira's transformation to having acne and then suddenly not having acne, you're more likely to buy her skincare line because she's telling you, my skincare line is going to help you get rid of your acne. Okay. Or for example, New York City influencers who were kind of a hot topic a few weeks ago thanks to somebody calling them boring. I agree. The white New York City influencers are very boring. If you watch Kiki Chanel's video on New York City influencers, you'll see that most of them just go to Pilates, drink matcha, and work from home, right? And all that means is they're answering emails from brands that want to sponsor them. But if you look at those New York City influencers, you'll see that they all look the same. And that is because they are catering to an audience that looks like them. So they're all blonde, white, have light colored eyes, tan by themselves. They either go to a tanning salon or they use a mitt, like self-tanning process. I forgot what it was called. They use a self-tanning process, and they're all very skinny. You ever notice that? They're all very skinny. They all have similar facial features, very similar facial structures, and that actually, Kiki Chanel found a TikTok that explained why that is, and that is because they are factory made. I'm not even kidding. I'm going to insert a clip of the TikTok that Kiki Chanel found so that you guys can see what I'm talking about, and your mind is going to be blown when you find this out. So yeah, they are factory made. Literally copy and paste. But it works because they have followers who look like them. Maybe not exactly like them, but they have followers who are also white, young women who want to live out in New York City and explore fun things that New York City has to offer, right? Which, by the way, New York City has more to offer than just Pilates and matcha, but that's all you'll ever see on these influencers' pages. I'm just saying. But with every influencer and audience, there is a very big gap between them. So take Jaclyn Hill and Michaela Nogueira again. The gap between Jaclyn Hill and her audience and the gap between Michaela Nogueira and her audience is money. Same thing with the New York City influencers. The gap between New York City influencers and their audience is money. And that's where we get to the tips portion of their content. Oftentimes, their audience will be telling them in their comments, oh my god, I want to be just like you. What can you tell me? How can I start making content? What did you find success in? What are your tips to guide me in this new social media adventure? I want to move out to New York City just like you. I want to get PR packages just like you. I want to get sponsorships just like you. What do I have to do to be just like you? And now we introduce the lies with Jaclyn Hill, and I remember this all too well. But with Jaclyn Hill, she would specifically say you have to remember to stay humble. She would always say you have to remember to stay humble. You have to remember to be honest with your audience. She did not follow her own rules. And you have to remember to have fun. With Michaela Nogueira, it's, if you want to have acne-free skin, you have to use this product. No, wait, actually, you have to use this other product. No, wait, actually, you have to use this other product. No, wait, actually, you have to use this other product. And their fan bases eat it up. But this is how they make their money. This is how they get sponsorships to pay for their life and their luxuries while still maintaining an audience. They pretend to connect with the audience. They pretend to tell you, listen, I know exactly what you're going through. I also had to live off food stamps. I also had a face full of acne. I also was never living in New York City. This is what I did to overcome those struggles. And then that's when they introduce sponsored products. In the case of recommending how to get started on social media, they'll tell you this is the camera that you need to have if you want to start vlogging or if you want to start making content. Or they'll promote that other vlogging camera that's like a stick with the tiniest camera. It's like oh man, I forgot what it was called. But the vlogging camera, the kind that I'm talking about that has a little camera that rotates. I'll insert a picture on screen. And if I remember the name, I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you this is the vlogging camera that you need to have if you want to get into social media. If you want to create content, you cannot do it without this specific camera. Not true, by the way. I mean, to show you how not true that is, I'm gonna tell you, I started making podcast episodes with my computer webcam, and then I was able to save up to get a 1080p webcam, which I'm now looking into. It is from Logitech, and it was not $500. Okay, and look at the camera quality, quite good if I do say so myself. Like, you can see the details in my wall. You get what I'm saying? So you do not need to spend $500, $700 on a camera just to start making content. But because these influencers have a paid contractual sponsorship with this brand that they are promoting, they can't tell you the actual truth. They can't tell you, well, you can just start using your phone camera. They have to tell you, you need this camera to start making content. And what I mean by discreet sponsorships is not the kind of sponsorships that you see where, people will say, okay, but before we get started, a word from today's sponsor, right? That's not what I mean. What I mean is they'll be going about their day and they'll be filming like a get ready with me or a what I eat in a day or a come with me to etc, etc, etc. And in the middle of the video, very discreetly, they will show you the product that they are using and they will say, guys, I have been loving this insert product here. And it is so good. I highly recommend you get it. And then they're gonna, use it in some way. So pretend like this is a Bloom drink. Pretend, I'm just going about my day. I'm in my car. I'm driving. And then I grab my Bloom drink and I'm like, that is all that the sponsorship has to consist of to be a discreet sponsorship. I don't even have to tell you that it's sponsored by Bloom. I just have to show you the product. By the way, those sponsorships are very illegal, and if you come across them, report them to the platform that they're uploaded on and tell the platform that this is an undisclosed sponsorship, because you have to mention this TikTok, this video is sponsored by insert company here, right? But in these advice videos, in these, for New York City influencers, it's going to be glow up videos. For influencers that are answering questions about how to start on social media, it's going to be social media related things like cameras, editing software, etc. These influencers don't typically say, this is what I use to, they're not going to tell you the truth. And they're not going to tell you this video is sponsored by Canon. This video is sponsored by Bloom. They're just going to tell you, guys, trust me, I use Bloom and it has helped me lose so much weight. Or, guys, trust me, Canon is the only camera company that I have ever used in my entire social media career, and it is the one that you absolutely need to get. Whole time it's sponsored, whole time they're being paid to promote that product, but they don't tell you that they're being paid to promote the product. So there you go, off to Canon's website, off to Bloom, and you purchase the product and you expect for it to work the same way on you as it does on them. Except for everybody's experience is different and it's not going to work the same way, especially if you have a very different budget, or especially if you're not getting sent the free product that you need to succeed, right? So for example, let's say that the influencer is promoting a Canon camera. They're probably going to be promoting the most expensive vlogging camera. Obviously Canon has gigantic cameras that are super expensive, but the influencer is probably going to be promoting one that's a little bit less expensive, maybe $700, and is smaller and is, fit for vlogging. And they're going to tell you guys, this is the camera that you need to have. Canon is such a good camera company. All of their cameras are amazing. You need the Canon camera to succeed. You need Canon. Canon is the best. So there you go to Canon's website, except for you do not have a budget of $700. So you're probably going to buy a camera that is, say, $200. Still Canon, but it's $200. Except because it's not the $700 camera, maybe it dies on you halfway through filming a video. Maybe it's too bulky to be taken outside. Maybe you took it outside while it was raining and it got wet, and so now it doesn't work anymore. Whole time, the influencer didn't even buy the camera themselves. Canon just sent it to them. Canon, I've never seen them encourage undisclosed sponsorships, to my knowledge. Canon is a very popular camera company, so that's kind of the example that I'm using. So don't come for me, okay? It's just an example. They don't actually do this. And then take, for example, Bloom, right? If your favorite influencer is doing these are my tips for how to glow up this summer, they're probably going to promote Bloom, because Bloom contacts and reaches out to so many influencers, and so many influencers take the bait and promote Bloom illegally. By the way, it is illegal for you to not disclose the sponsorship, and it is illegal for you to just take your little Bloom drink and drink it without saying, this TikTok has been sponsored by Bloom. That is illegal, okay? Report it if you see it. It is illegal. But you know, they'll be yapping about how, oh, yoga in the morning really helped me glow up. Oh, I need to do my morning shed to glow up. And also, I drink Bloom. Anyway, I also exercise in the morning. I also drink 6 liters of water every day. And there you go, off to Bloom's website looking for a mango flavored powder that actually tastes like chocolate. Watch Kiki Chanel's video on the Bloom sponsorships to understand that reference. Another very kind of egregious thing that influencers do, specifically I'm talking makeup influencers and fitness influencers too, is that, you know, they'll be having their facelifts, their Botox, their fillers, and so their skin looks perfect. It looks like they have not a single pore. It looks like they have the most youthful, bouncy, glowy looking skin you could ever imagine. And then they sit in front of their camera and they say, this moisturizer helped my skin look like this. Or they'll have lip fillers and they'll show a product and they'll be like, this lip peptide treatment helped my lips look this plump. It's a lie. But because you trust this influencer, because they've established an anchor point of relatability, whether that be their looks, whether that be their insecurities, whether that be their living conditions, you trust this influencer because of that anchor point that they've previously established, that anchor point of relatability to them. So there you go. You go on and you buy a lip peptide treatment, despite the fact that your favorite influencer did not use that lip peptide treatment to get their lips looking that plump. They used lip fillers. But you know, you trust this influencer, so you go and buy the lip peptide treatment. You go and buy the moisturizer that reduced the amount of wrinkles that they had. The whole time it was Botox. Same thing with fitness influencers. They will tell you all you guys need to do is get a gym membership, get you some Bloom products, and you will lose weight and you will look exactly like how I look. Whole time they got a BBL. You know, they're out there in the gym pretending like they're doing squats, however many 50 squats every rep or whatever. I don't know gym talk. But you know, they're showing you their exercise routine and they're like, you guys are going to do 50 squats and then you're going to take a break and you're going to drink your Bloom product. Whole time they got a liposuction and a BBL, so you will never look like your favorite influencer. Unless you have the money to get a liposuction and a BBL. You get what I'm saying? Or maybe your favorite influencer goes and gets facials every few months and they get their dark circles lasered off. But then on camera, they'll tell you guys, this product really helped me get rid of my dark circles. You have to go buy it. So you go buy it. You have insane dark circles, maybe you're working hard, maybe you're studying hard, maybe you have insomnia, and you go and buy the product that miraculously got rid of your favorite influencer's dark circles, but it doesn't work on you because they did not use that product to get rid of their dark circles. Okay, so that's kind of the base of how everything works, right? Now let's talk about the brand side of things. As a brand, like I previously mentioned, like I previously established, you want to find an influencer that is very consistent across a lot of things, across their content, their engagement, and their follower count. As a brand, you also really want to do market research so that you can understand what consumers are buying, and then you can make the products that consumers are buying so that you won't stay behind. You'll stay ahead of the curve. You'll stay 3 steps ahead. But just in case your market research failed, you still want to have those trusty dusty influencers who will promote your stuff no matter what. Okay, you want to have influencers who have sold their soul. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. Those are the kinds of influencers that you want to have on your roster as a brand, okay? Because if your market research failed, and if it turns out that people actually no longer want a sheer blush, or they no longer want ugly looking shoes, you have to be able to go to your influencers and tell them, hey, can I pay you to promote this product? Can I pay you to show these shoes on your TikTok? Can I pay you to show yourself applying this blush on your TikTok? Those trusty dusty influencers, because they have no soul, will tell you, yes, of course you can pay me so that I can, showcase your blush, your shoes, your dress, your whatever, and promote it subtly on my TikTok. Then the audience of that influencer is going to look at the influencer's TikToks, obviously, and they're going to see, hey, that influencer is wearing the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life, but because I want to look like them, I'm going to buy those particular shoes. Boom. As a brand, you now have people buying your ugly ass shoes. And that is the turn, the very predictable turn, might I add, that influencer marketing has taken, to where now influencers no longer care about the ethics or morals behind a company. All they care about is the next paycheck. So they will promote the ugliest things ever seen in humanity and their poor follower base, because they trust that influencer, and because that influencer has kind of planted the seeds of hope that, you can be just like me too. The poor audience base is going to look ugly. And listen, I don't mean to be rude, but some of the things that these influencers are wearing are just beyond anything. Take for example this dress. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm going to show a picture, screenshot of the dress. But if you guys are listening on podcast platforms, no worries, I will describe what the dress looks like. It is a gray tinfoil-esque dress. That is not even an exaggeration. It looks like a trash bag made out of tinfoil, and it's wrinkled, and it's short, and it's shapeless. I also want you guys to listen to this video of this girl who is trying on this dress, and just listen to what it sounds like, okay?
Trying to see if it would be cute just like out and about, like I'm literally going to the mall.
That is the sound of her actively touching the dress, and the dress actively sounding like a trash bag. I'm playing the video on screen so that you can see how when she touches it, it sounds like a trash bag. But if you can't watch the video, no worries, to show that every time you hear a trash bag like sound, it's just her touching the dress. But because an influencer wore it once, young girls are now going out of their way to buy this shapeless, wrinkly, tinfoil ass, shapeless dress. I think I already said shapeless. Ugly ass dress, and they're wearing it, and they're trying to style it, and they're trying to make it look cute, but it will never look cute because the dress inherently is just the ugliest thing you have ever seen in your entire freaking life. I also want to add, because I know it sounds like I'm just a hater, but I would not have an issue with people wearing this dress if it was like a subculture kind of thing, like if it was a sub aesthetic, like a rebellious kind of aesthetic, or whatever, however aesthetics are formed. I would not have an issue with that. My issue comes with the fact that not only is the dress ugly, it's also only being worn because someone got sponsored by the company that made such an ugly dress. Like, there's no act behind wearing the dress. There's no anything. There's no motivation behind wearing the dress except for wanting to look like whatever influencer wore the dress. That is where my main issue is coming from, okay? So just in case you guys were like, wow, Lily's being a really big hater today, it's just because a company paid people to wear and promote this dress that people are now wearing this dress and making themselves look like a fool. That's where the issue comes in, okay? It's that a company is involved in this. I'm not exaggerating. There's not an ounce of exaggeration in my description of this dress. It genuinely looks like a trash bag. There's no other way to put it. It looks like if you took a trash bag and you laid it out, and then you cut the bottom of it where it folds where it's supposed to hold the trash. You cut the bottom of it and then you put it on. Or maybe, no, okay, you cut the bottom of it and then you fold the bottom in a little bit. You sew the bottom in and then you put it on. That's what it looks like. Okay, I hope that gave you a description in your mind if you're listening. It looks so freaking ugly. There's no other way to put it. And young girls are out here, out and about, wearing this ugly ass dress. Why? Because an influencer promoted it. There's also the issue with the camel toe shoes. You guys, I can't even talk. These shoes look like camel toes. There's no two ways about it. They look like you look like a camel wearing these shoes. But the influencers who are part of like the ballet core, coquette core aesthetic, they used the shoes once and they were like, oh my god, you guys, these shoes are the perfect shoes for a coquette outfit. These shoes are the perfect shoes for a ballet core outfit. Look at how cute they are. And then suddenly 1 million girls are under the spell and they're thinking, oh my god, those shoes look so cute. If it had been anybody else promoting those shoes, those girls would be like, those shoes are the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my entire life. You look like a camel. But no, because it was their favorite influencer to promote the shoes, they're like, wow, oh my god. My favorite influencer is revolutionary, you guys. These shoes are the best. They're so amazing. They're so awesome. No, girl, you look like a camel. I don't know what to tell you. And that is how we get young girls wearing the ugliest things ever. Literally ever. But anyway, so that is how brands are able to keep their products sold. They go to their trusty, reliable, soulless influencers and they tell them, hey, we're going to pay you a certain amount of money if you promote this ugly product that we have. So, influencers go ahead and promote that ugly product, and then a ton of young girls are wearing the ugly product. But what happens if the growth happened kind of organically? Say, for example, an influencer was not paid to promote a product. They just saw a sweater online and they were like, hey, this sweater looks really cute. It has a new innovative neckline. I think I'm gonna buy this and I think I'm gonna wear it. And they're seen wearing it. Maybe they, film get ready with me to go to the mall, or get ready with me to go to Pilates class. And they wear this oversized mock neck sweater that Kiki Chanel talked about in her video. So if you guys want to know more about the mock neck sweater, go ahead and watch her video. But they wear this, and then suddenly, the girls, the followers are like, oh my god, you look so good. And which, by the way, that's another aspect of why influencers don't look silly versus normal people wearing it looking silly. Like, that's another aspect of this whole thing of like, I want to look like my favorite influencer, so I'm going to buy everything that my influencer is wearing, but you have a different body shape from your influencer. Like, and I'm not talking like you're a different weight. I'm saying like maybe your favorite influencer has longer legs and you have shorter legs, or maybe your favorite influencer has a longer torso and you have a shorter torso. So it's going to look different on them, and it's going to be styled differently on them because of their body differences, because of your guys' body differences. But you don't really care about that. You just want to look like your favorite influencer. So you go on the website and you buy the sweatshirt and you're like, my favorite influencer looks so good wearing this, so I want to wear this too. I want to look as good as my favorite influencer. And then the brand sees organic growth. They're like, where did this come from? Right? It's kind of what happened to Stanley too, where a group of bloggers, like online, like typed out blogs, website, the kind. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was a pair of online bloggers that were talking about how useful the Stanley Cups were, and then ever since then they kind of started gaining traction, and then they did the scarcity marketing thing, which then turned people crazy, and people started fighting other people just for a chance to get a Stanley Cup. That's kind of what happened to these friggin' sweaters. The brand, no freaking idea. The owner, she's like, yeah, I didn't even promote my sweaters. I didn't promote my line. I just, people started buying things from my line. Like, I don't know how this happened. But, so that initial growth is not her fault. What is her fault, though, is scarcity marketing, where she sees just how many people want to buy her things. And instead of saying, oh my god, yes, I'm going to make so much product so that everybody can buy my sweaters, so that everybody can buy insert product here, right? Instead of doing that, she said, okay, I'm releasing 5,000 sweaters and they're kind of selling out fast. So now I'm going to release 3,000 sweaters so they sell out even faster. And it's the hype, it's the anticipation that gets 10,000 people in a queue, maybe online or in person, but there's only 3,000 sweaters available. So then those other 7,000 people that did not get the sweater, they're like, oh my god, I really wanted the sweater so bad, but it's sold out. Like, so many people want them. I can't believe they sold out so fast. And then it drums up even more hype for the next release, except for the next release is also only going to be 3,000 sweaters. There's now 15,000 people trying to get the sweaters. This is what Jaclyn Hill and Morphe did when they released their first Jaclyn Hill's Favorites eyeshadow palette. This was not the palette that they did with like the white cover and Jaclyn's signature on it. This was just a normal Morphe palette full of Jaclyn Hill's favorite eyeshadows that they put in there. She saw so many people waiting in anticipation for her palette, but Morphe decided to only release half of the demand. So let's say, for example, again, 10,000 people were waiting patiently for this palette. Morphe released only 5,000 palettes. Allegedly. So then only 5,000 people got it. And Jaclyn was then able to get on camera and say, you guys, so many people wanted this palette. I had no idea that this many people wanted this palette. It sold out within minutes. I'm working with Morphe behind the scenes to get you guys even more product so that they can release even more products and you guys can get my palette. Don't worry, we're gonna be restocking this limited edition palette. This is how it works, you guys. I've been watching these influencers for ages, and this is how it goes every single time. Whenever there's an influencer collaboration, whenever there's a brand that is getting so much attention thanks to influencers, they will always create a limited amount of product. Maybe not create a limited amount of product, but they will release only a limited amount of product. So say for example, I'm selling this shirt that I'm wearing, right? I'm going to make 15,000 of this shirt, but I'm only going to stock 5,000 because I know that there's hype, there's attention, there's anticipation for it, and I'm only going to release 5,000 because that guarantees that this shirt gets sold out. And if this shirt gets sold out, I'm able to say, oh my god, you guys, so many people wanted my shirt. I can't believe you guys love my shirt so much. I can't believe you guys would want to wear my name on your chest so much. Pretend this says Lily, okay? Don't worry, you guys, I'm going to release more. Okay, and then the next time, same thing, only 5,000. I still have 10,000 shirts, but I'm only going to release 5,000. And then suddenly, oh my god, you guys, they sold out again. I can't believe it. I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for buying my products. Thank you so much for being so loyal to me. The whole time, I have enough product to not sell out. I have 5,000 more shirts. But see, here's the thing. if I release all 15,000 shirts at once and then it turns out only 10,000 people want the shirts, then I'm going to be left with 5,000 shirts that I did not want. I was expecting for all of them to sell out. So it's better for me to release them a few at a time to drum up that height and guarantee that there will be more than 15,000 people wanting my shirts. It's better for people to buy my shirts and then they themselves donate them or sell them, like send them to thrift stores or put it on Depop, than it is for me to be left with the extra inventory. Because if I'm left with inventory, then that's extra space in my warehouse that I could be using to stock a brand new product that I could easily sell out quickly. And that is money wasted. I don't want to waste money. I would rather put my clothes into landfills, either by proxy through my customers or myself throwing my shirts away, than I would rather spend money, if that makes sense, if I were a company. This is also why scarcity marketing is used a lot of the times, especially nowadays, because companies would rather pay to throw the shirts away than pay for storage to store the shirts that they didn't sell. 5,000 more people want to buy my shirts. Why didn't I just release 15,000 shirts at once? It's because if I tell you guys they sold out, you as a viewer, maybe you weren't interested. Maybe you were the 15,001, right? 15,000 people wanted to buy it, but you were like, I don't really have the money for that right now. I don't really need another influencer merch thing. I'm going to wait. Then you see it's getting sold out. So many people, according to me, so many people are buying my shirts. It's selling out every time. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot believe it. It's selling out every single time. And now suddenly you're thinking, wait, I don't want to miss out. I want everyone to know that I also watch Lily. What in the heck? You know what? Okay, I'm gonna get in line. I'm gonna buy that shirt next time. The restock, I'm buying that shirt. So then, I restock the shirt. Again, only 5,000. There's 10,000 people waiting in line. I have 10,000 shirts. I only release 5,000. You don't get the shirt because I released a limited number. I act as though I released the most amount, the biggest amount, but I actually have a ton more, right? So it gets sold out again, and you do not get the shirt again. So I go online, me as the influencer, I go online, I'm like, you guys, you sold it out again. Oh my god, I'm so grateful for you guys. Next time is the last restock of this shirt, so make sure you get your credit cards. Make sure you are there. It's going to drop this time on this day. You have to be there. So there you go. Okay, I need to set my alarm. This time, this day, you check your time zone. Okay, it's gonna drop. This time, this day. You don't get the shirt. Because now, thanks to all of my anticipation, thanks to all of my, you guys, it sold out again, you guys, it sold out again, you guys, it sold out, more people. So suddenly it went from 15,000 people wanting the shirt to 30,000 people wanting the shirt. But I only have 5,000 shirts left. So now there's another 15,000 people that wanted the shirt but don't ever get the shirt. Because the whole point of scarcity marketing is, I'm sorry, it's limited edition. I cannot continue dropping even if I have 100,000 people wanting the shirt, I cannot, because of the principles of scarcity marketing, I cannot release more than 15,000 shirts because I want it to seem unattainable. I want it to seem like you are special if you get the shirt. And the only way you seem special if you get the shirt is if I release less than the demand. Hermes Birkin bag, that's what it's called, right? So suddenly I have placed myself on the same level as a Birkin bag by having 100,000 people wanting a shirt that I made, but only releasing 15,000. The shirt has now become a pseudo Birkin bag where only a certain type of people get the bag. And the only type of people that get the bag, they're not special. They just had more luck. They just were able to be faster. Their internet may be loaded faster. Maybe they were a second earlier than you were, right? That's maybe they stayed up all night. Maybe they lined up for hours outside of my store. That's the only difference between you and this person that got my shirt. That's it. It's not because they have more money. Well, maybe because they have more time, right? But also maybe it was just their day off. Maybe they don't work Thursdays and Fridays, whereas you work Monday through Friday, right? And your only days off are Saturday and Sunday, so you were not able to stay up all night. But they were, because they don't work Friday, so they were able to stay up on Thursday. But it makes the people who got my shirt seem special. It makes my shirt seem special because, guys, it's sold out every time. How could this happen? I had no idea that this was gonna happen. Whole time I knew that this was gonna happen because that's the point. Yeah. I've been around long enough to see how this happens and to see how this all plays out and to see how this all ends up. And how it ends up is these things end up in the landfill. A year from now, I probably won't even be relevant, right? If I'm this influencer selling a shirt with my name on it, it's probably not going to be relevant because I peaked when I was telling people it's sold out every time. That was my peak. If I try and recreate that, people are going to be like, well, why don't you just make more? People are going to eventually catch on to the roots. They're eventually going to be like, the fuck? Why are you selling out every time? Just make more. Don't announce a release unless you have enough to go around for everyone. Or better yet, just don't make it limited edition. Why does it have to be limited edition? So eventually people are going to catch on to what I'm doing. And I'm not going to be able to use the same ruse every single time. But guess what? At the time that I peaked, I made millions of dollars. Because I was telling everyone, you guys, this shirt is limited edition, it's exclusive. But don't worry, if you don't get it, I have other products in my store that you can buy. So, maybe you didn't get the shirt, but you got a mug that has my name on it. You got a lip gloss that has my name on it. You got a sweatshirt that has my name on it. You got pants that have my name on it, right? I made bank. I don't care that that was my peak. I don't care that I'm not able. Maybe in, a few years, maybe 5 years down the line, I'm going to be able to be like, you guys, I'm coming out with a shirt. It is so special. You guys need to line up. And then I'm going to make millions again, right? Like, this is a game. It's a cycle. It's a game that these brands are playing, and you need to watch out for these kinds of games, and you need to not let yourself become so wrapped up in the exclusivity of it all, because at the end of the day, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, you're going to be able to walk into your local thrift store and you're going to spot that shirt and you'll be like, whatever happened to this influencer? Whatever happened to this brand? Oh my god, I remember so many people wanted it. And you're going to see it's not really that high quality, right? Because most of the time these influencers are saying like, this is the best quality. It costs $100 because I only use the best fabric. I only use the best people who make clothes, right? It is sustainable. It's amazing. It's the only shirt you will ever need. It'll last you for 10 years. And then in the thrift store, 3 years down the line, you're going to be like, this is kind of shitty, actually. And then you check the tag, 100% polyester, no cotton, right? You guys, I was mostly joking when I said this, but I actually found a TikTok that is pretty much exactly what I'm saying, and I'm going to play it for you guys right now. Don't worry if you're just listening, it's just a person talking, so you don't have to watch anything.
I walked into Aritzia fully prepared to drop at least $250. I wanted to buy almost everything that I saw because it is so cute. I found a set, a top and a bottom. Total, like $250. Then I check the material that it's made of. 100% polyester. No.
Mind you, that is Aritzia, a store that prides itself on its quality. Also, I'm so sorry for my voice. I'm a little bit sick right now. But that is a store that prides itself on its supposed quality. And they have things that are made out of 100% polyester. And they're pricing it at $250. Like, that's what I'm saying. Essentially, don't fall for these influencers that are telling you that they only use the highest quality materials, because half the time, not even half the time, like 100% of the time they're lying and their things are not made out of high quality materials because they're trying to make as much money as possible. They're going to use the cheapest materials possible. My point is, you need to be privy to these, you need to be aware of these kinds of marketing tactics that have been used since influencers have been around. You also have to remember that the only reason your influencer is getting paid is because they have things getting sent to them. Without PR, they would never have the job that they have now, because all they have to do is open their phone, record, and they're like, let's do a PR unboxing. And that's how they get money. Maybe not from the brands themselves, but definitely from the platforms that they're uploading their content to. But anyway, that is all that I have for this episode. If you guys want to wear my name on your chest, check the link in the description and in the show notes, because I now have merch. And I promise you guys it's not going to sell out because I'm not the one. It's Teespring, so they've got, they're able to make tons of clothes. I have so many things on there, and it's a cute little picture of my frog. You guys know the one, my frog. And she's very cute. She's very girly. She's enjoying her day out by the lake. So make sure you guys go and check out my merch. And if you guys are not interested in merch, but you maybe have been in the market for a new bullet journal, check out my Barnes & Noble store. I have a bullet journal that I created all by myself. I did not use a single template. I created it all by myself for my fellow neurodivergent people who maybe, you're using a planner or whatever, and you forget to do it for a whole month. You don't want to have to rip out pages, right? So it's a timeless bullet journal. You can go ahead and check it out. I designed it with all the love in my heart. But if you're not interested in merch or bullet journals, just go ahead and check out my other social media, also linked in the description. And also in the description, you will find a link to my Patreon, and that is where we do my Lily's Little after show. So if you guys want to yap with me for another few 10 to 20 minutes, go ahead and check out my Patreon. It is only $5 a month, so we have a good time over there. So go ahead and check out the links in the description. But otherwise, I think we're done here. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!